to see so many of you on tonight. Um, I'm really excited to be introducing you guys to Anne. And what's so funny is she's brand new in my life. Like, I don't know, what would you say, 2, 3 weeks? It's not been very long. And already I've had the privilege of hosting her in my home and witnessing her magic firsthand. She's a holistic healer, and she worked under Dr. Bradley Nelson for the emotion code and body code. And I've been actually experiencing back pain, and she is in the process of helping me figure out where I might be having emotional blocks and where this pain keeps coming up. And I got to tell you, it's been super fun to work with her. She's very knowledgeable. She's also been helping a couple of my other friends with the work that she does. And not only the work that she does, but it's just her spirit. She just is kind and loving, compassionate, and just a fun person to be around. And I would love to invite each of you to check out her website, Goodspeed.com. And you can go on there to get more information about the work she does and hopefully even become a client and work with her. So on that happy note, Anne, I'd like to turn it over to you.
Thank you, Sal. It has been so fun getting to spend time in your home and to be a part of what you are growing. And what a fun opportunity to be with all of you again here. Yin on Fire was the highlight of my year, and it's been so fun to continue to learn and experience so much of everyone's gifts here. So I am super honored to share a little bit about what I do. And first, what I would like to just share is just a little bit about myself first, I guess. I live in Moab currently. I am the mother of 3 adult children who have all fled Utah this year. They're all in other parts of the country right now. 3 grandbabies. I have been doing this work now for about 6 years. I came across energy work during a difficult time in my life, and I was amazed at how profound my body responded and the healing that happened so quickly. And so I was super curious and just dove in and needed to learn more. In the process, I realized that I felt like I needed some credentials. I'm a type 1 diabetic. I was diagnosed when I was 6 years old. And people kept calling me wanting to know how it was, what I was doing. I seemed to have a healthy lifestyle and didn't look like this was something that was holding me back in any way. And their children were being diagnosed, and they wanted to know what I was doing. And so I felt like I needed to get some credentials so I could start coaching these parents. And in the process, I was in the Integrative Health Coaching Institute in New York, came across Bradley Nelson at that time, and I knew that I had to incorporate his work into my health coaching practice. And at learning and understanding more about the energy healing side of things, it just continues to amaze me how simple it really is to heal. And and so that's kind of my tagline: healing made simple. And we don't need to make it so complicated. Our soul knows exactly what the cause is, what we need for healing. Our body is talking to us all the time. And if we can just pay attention to those signals and check in and ask the questions, your soul will tell you what you need to know. It can be difficult for some to go there, as you all know. We hear Angel talking to us all the time about going within and asking, and it's hard to hear and listen. So I use kinesiology, muscle testing. I use a pendulum most often. That's the quickest for me. So I am just honored to help those who find me, help them get to the core of what those issues are, the emotions, the trauma, the whatever it is that they have found that's that they haven't found. They just don't know that that's what's causing the issue that they're dealing with currently. So if any of you here are dealing with any pain and would be willing to be a volunteer, I would like to offer a sample session so you can see how this modality works, how I do this with my clients. So go ahead and put there in the chat something that can be measured is easiest to work with, just so we can, like if, for example, Sal shared that she's dealing with some back pain. So if we can measure your pain and then see if we can reduce that in a quick little session, that would be best to work with. I deal with everything, not just pain, anything that is a wellness issue for people. Also, I have integrated into this practice recently, this past year, an advanced healing technique. I came across a gentleman this year through multiple other healers. His name is David Harris, and he's created some advanced healing techniques. He's a grand marshal in 5 different martial arts, and he's incorporated all of those healing techniques into some software. And I have added this to my practice for those it feels appropriate to use to just help support, to bring the body to homeostasis. And if any of you would like me to run a session for you now, I have a session set. I'm going to set it to go at 7:15. Are we there? We might be there already. Oh, in 1 minute. So if you want to opt in for a session around abundance, abundance in any aspect of your life, abundant health, abundant finances, abundant relationships, anything around abundance. And I've also added a protocol in there for winter, flu, and cold symptoms. Any of that will help bring some homeostasis and balance to your body if you want to choose that. This will run for you for 7 days. So what it does is it will intuitively discern what frequencies need to be sent to you to bring homeostasis to the body for better wellness and balance. If you have any more questions on that, we can set up an appointment and we can talk further about that and set up something particularly customized for you. And I'll give you those details later. All right, do we have any volunteers?
If you look at the chat, pretty much everybody said yes.
Angel, can you pick one for me?
Okay. Barney. Where's why is Sal laughing? Sal, oh, that's you. I'm all, who's Barney? We need to get to know him. That's an alias. Yes, you lucky dog, you. Barney in blue.
Dave, you're
We can
Barney.
change our names. I am Barney.
I totally did.
Oh, shoot, I just gave it away.
Oh,
Yeah.
that's okay.
I didn't use your last name, so are we okay? So many Daves.
Whatever.
All right, Dave, tell me, what are we working on?
Let's go for abundance. Who doesn't want abundance?
All right, so I want to work on something for you personally with pain.
Oh, how about the pain in my neck?
Okay. Tell me about it. Tell me more about it.
Her name is Sal. She lives in
He's being
St.
a jerk. This is where I kick you off the Zoom call. So
Sorry,
I have
okay. I'll behave. So something relating to pain. I broke my back in a car wreck in, when was that, Sal? 2021. And it has never been the same since.
Okay.
How's that?
On a scale of 1 to 10, what would you rate that? 10 being the worst.
Well, so pain is not something that really bugs me a lot, but it's annoying as all get out. And it depends on the time of day, right? Like I'm an old guy, so in the morning it's worse, trying to get stretchy and moving around. By the end of the day, it's not as bad because I've been moving.
Okay.
Why did you have to pick me? I was all for the abundance piece.
You opted in. Are you choosing out? Would you rather us choose somebody else? Okay.
No, I'll stick with this.
Okay. On a scale of 1 to 10, I need a pain rating right now, today, at this moment.
At this very moment, 2.
2. Okay.
Maybe 1.
All right. Okay. So we're just going to go within. And so I need permission to connect with you energetically.
Connect away.
All right, so I'm gonna use my pendulum here and I'm using the body code. And hey, Angel, if you think it would be helpful to people for people to see, let's do a screen share. So people can see me move through that so they can see the body maps.
Can you share it? Does it show on your side? Do you have a share button?
Yep, it's on.
Okay.
Never coming again, Sal.
Haha.
Here, I thought I could just be a lurker.
No voyeurs here.
No, lurker.
I know what you are.
Or what do they say? Yeah.
Okay, can you see that?
Yep, your Discover Healing.
Okay, so Dave,
Yes, ma'am.
so first thing I do is just ask for permission. I got your permission. It's important that we both are well hydrated. Water's a great conduit of energy. And then I'm just gonna ask, is there something within the body maps that will help relieve this pain for Dave? And I get a yes. So I'm gonna start asking, is it something on the left? It's on the right. It's a pathogen. It's a physical pathogen that you were dealing with.
Hmm.
It's a prion. Okay, so is there anything we need to know about this? No, can we just energetically release it? So energetically, I'm gonna just release that. And when I say release, I'm just seeing that energy of this prion release from you to be sent to divine light and love to be neutralized. Okay, that's been released. Is there anything else? Energy.
Huh.
So you've absorbed an emotional compound. 2 of them. So compounds are emotions that are felt at the same time, more than one felt at the same time, in the same moment. So we can go in and figure out what these are and who you're sharing these, or who you've absorbed these from. So these may not actually be yours. It's somebody else that you've absorbed this compound from. Do
Okay.
you want to go deeper on that? Are you okay going there?
Sure.
All right.
I think.
Let's see. I'm not used to using this on my computer. Okay. All right. It's insecurity is the first one. And overjoy. So I'm going to ask when this happened for you, at what time in your life?
Which one?
So those 2 emotions were felt at the same time. This was at age 6. You absorbed this from your mom.
I did, or is that a question? I'm sorry. I'm getting lost.
Okay. Question.
Yes.
Let's hear it.
Probably not from my mother, probably from my dad.
No, this is something you've absorbed from your mom.
Oh. Interesting.
At age 6. We need to know more about that. Okay, it must be around some life event. Is there something that coming to mind?
At age 6. As it relates to my mother. Is that correct?
Yes.
I can't think of one. Sal, you know me pretty well. What?
Yeah, with your mom, I don't know, but I've been told that I have several things with my mom too, so it could be just something that you didn't even fully pick up on because I trust the practitioners that I went to when they said that there's something with my mom. So I don't know, it's maybe something subconscious.
Yeah, I believe the process, and I'm trying to think, where was I when I was 6?
Yeah.
So, um,
Okay, Dave, we don't need to know more. So
okay,
we're just gonna leave it with that and release that.
thank you.
Okay, released. So there's one other emotional compound. Healthy pride injured. And taken for granted.
Yeah.
Age 7. This is also with your mom, absorbed from your mom.
Wow. I guess I'm gonna
No
have to
more.
go through some kind of regression to figure this out.
No, you don't. You don't need to pinpoint it. We're just identifying that this is what it was. We're just making you aware, and we're just going to release that energy.
Okay,
Release.
thank you.
Okay.
It's interesting. I've had this done before, and age 6 and 7 seems to be a thing with me. I don't know what happened, but yeah,
Mm.
this is consistent with what I've heard before.
Mm.
So they didn't do a good job in releasing it, apparently, Anne.
Well, as you're aware, it can go so deep. There's so many things that we experience on a daily basis. And if for
Yeah.
some reason you're trapping those energies in those tissues in your body anywhere, it's gonna prevent a situation where it's more difficult to heal those tissues. Our bodies tend to absorb the energies where our tissues are the weakest. And you may not have had weak tissues in your back, and you're describing this back pain as a result of this accident. Did you have back pain before?
Not that I recall,
Okay.
but I sure did after.
Misalignment. Pineal gland has a misalignment.
Hmm.
Are you experiencing any of these symptoms? Insomnia, difficulty planning ahead, discomfort in your eyes, vision problems, trouble with sleep?
Insomnia to the max. Disruption of circadian rhythm to the max. I mean, Sal knows I sleep maybe a couple hours straight in a row.
Okay, so we need to know more
Maybe.
about that. So there's something that's throwing that pineal gland off.
By the way, it's very annoying.
Pericardium meridian, that has a lot to do with how your heart functions, how your heart beats. See these symptoms that it's listing. Does any of that stand out for you?
Yeah, and I'm not going to tell you which ones, but
Okay,
yes.
great. You don't need to tell us. Okay, so we're going to go back and see if we need to know more about that. Okay, we can just energetically bring that into balance. The pericardium meridian is now flowing properly. We release the block there. Will this open up the pineal gland? Yes. Is there anything else we need to know? Okay, I just want you to check in and see if you feel any shift in that pain in your back yet.
I don't want to imagine it, but I think so. Can I just say maybe?
Yeah.
I'm sitting in a chair, not doing anything. So maybe if I got up, moved around, it would become more evident.
Okay, so after I do this work for my clients, I always ask how much time they're going to need to process. Your body needs to rebalance and heal after releasing these energies from the body. 5 days for you. So I'm going to make a note to check in with you in 5 days. So if you wouldn't mind sending me your contact info, or I can get it from Sal, and I'll check in with you and see how it feels. Does that sound okay?
That sounds perfectly fine.
All right.
And she can give you my mobile number.
Okay. All right. Thanks. Thanks for being a volunteer. Does anybody have any questions?
Hey, would you give us a little education? Tell us what it is for people that are new. I'll bet there are people on this call of the 27 people here tonight that have no idea how you're doing this. And so could you give us some just simple explanation?
Yeah. Okay. So when I'm looking at the body maps here that we're looking at on my screen, I'm just asking, for example, I said, okay, is there something in this that we can do to help Dave with his back? And that's a yes. So when I'm muscle testing, this is just a really quick way for me to do it. There's many, many ways to muscle test. But if you can see, I'm going to try and hold this so you can see my pendulum better. If I say my name's Anne, it gives me a yes, and that's what that looks like. If I say my name's Bob, it gives me a no. That's what that looks like.
So be specific if people, it's at the direction it's swinging, right?
It's the direction it's swinging. So no is going like this, like back and forth. And yes is going front and back for me. It can be different for everybody if you're using a pendulum. There's lots of different ways to muscle test. This has just been the easiest for me and most effective. Okay, so when I go into the body maps and say, is there something here? And I get a yes, I go, is it on the left? Yes. So is it 1, 2? So it took me to, what was it? Because I'm not doing it for somebody right now, I'm just pretending. So if it gives me a 2, then I'd go to circuits and systems, left or right, 1, 2, it gives me a 2. So if I go here to glands on the left, no, it's on the right, it's a brain gland. So then I go here. So this is how I go through the system. I'm just asking for you. Your soul knows. Your soul is guiding me. I am just a conduit. I am connected with your soul, and it's telling me where to go to get to the core of the root cause of these issues that you're dealing with, that you've sought help for.
Are you open to working with someone who's got a lot of pain right now?
Yes.
So Tina, there was so many chats that I missed some of these. The people that first responded to wanting to be in your share their pain. Tina, would you unmute yourself? She had her knee do something weirdo on Thanksgiving, and now I can hardly walk, she says, without it being painful and feeling like I will lose my balance.
Yes, that is correct. Can you hear me?
I can.
Okay.
Tina, there's not a picture. I wonder, it's very important that I be able to picture your face. I don't know if you can choose to come on or
Let me see.
a text message.
Let me see.
Oh, I see you. Okay.
You see me?
Yep. You can pop off now if you need to.
Okay.
It's just for me energetically to see that energy release from the top of your head. It just is, that's part of the process.
Okay.
Okay. Thank you. All right. Tell me more. So you heard it recently. What have you already tried to fix it? What's going on?
I was just walking over, putting dishes away. And as I was standing there, I felt something move or pop it was my right knee, and it was the right side of my right knee. and it was incredibly painful at the moment, and I could feel it up and down through my whole leg. And then I felt like I couldn't walk. It felt as if, you know how your knee normally bends forward, backward? It felt like it was going inward towards my left leg. So I just stopped and I didn't dare walk. And I hopped over and sat down, got some help. And my daughter brought me a knee brace that has a metal on the side because she had had knee surgery previously. So I couldn't walk for the rest of the night. That I was just kind of scared to. I can walk now, but it feels very unstable. It's on the right side near the back of my knee, and then it also moves to the front right under my knee.
Okay. Oh, wow. I'm so sorry about that.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. So do I have permission to connect with you energetically?
Yes.
Okay. Is there something in the body maps that can help Tina with this knee thing? That's a yes. So I'm going to hold this up here so you guys can maybe see this move. Does that look okay? Maybe if I put that down a little bit like that. Okay. Okay, it's taking me to the fascia. So it's the fascia in that knee. There's something going on there that we need to know more about. So we're going to go
Okay.
back and see what's going on with this fascia. So there's a block in your conception meridian. Here's some other symptoms of that imbalance. Digestive stuff, spleen stuff, issues with your face, lips, and eyes. If you noticed anything in around that, we don't need to know more.
Okay.
We're just going to energetically release the block in the conception meridian. Something else.
Can I ask, what is the conception meridian?
Yes. So we have lots of meridians. There's 12 main and eight extraordinary meridians. That is where our life chi flows. If you have a block in a meridian, it creates all of these interesting imbalances they're all connected to different things. They run,
Okay.
they're like loops through the body. They connect to all of your organs, your teeth, your toes. They run across the body in all different ways to help that life chi energy flow through the body.
Okay.
If you are a fan of the chiropractors, that's typically what it is they are addressing, is meridian.
Okay.
And unlocking the blocks within there, so then your body can have what it needs, that life chi energy for healing. So if we've got blocks
Okay.
there, we want to clear those. So
Mhm.
okay. So anything else we need to know about that fascia? Yeah. So there's something else in that fascia. Okay. So it's taking me to essential oils, which suggests that there's going to be an oil here that's going to be helpful for you. Are you a
Okay.
fan of oils?
I am. I have all kinds of oils. Mm-hmm.
2 of them. It's in this section. So let's see, the grapefruit.
Mm.
And spruce. So
Okay.
it might be interesting for you to just look up and see what the benefits of those 2 are. But so
Okay.
let's find out how it's going to be best for you to use them.
Okay.
apply them topically to that, not to the knee. You can put them on your feet, bottom of your feet,
Okay.
once a
I
day.
think I have both of those oils. I'm gonna look really quick. I have
Okay.
my stash.
So once a day
Yes.
for 4 days.
Okay.
Okay, we need to know more about that. Let's see. That means there's more that we need to do for that fascia. Okay, there's a seeking heart energy. So this is when we want to feel love and joy. If we're not getting that from just our soul self, you know, it's whatever we're doing, we as humans often look for it outside of ourselves. Then that can look like, it can be the cause of addictions. Hold on, Angel, I gotta run and grab my charger. My computer's about to die. Hold on.
All right. I would love to see in the chat how many of you are new to body code and emotion code tonight. Pop it in the chat so I know if this is the first time you're seeing this type of work done. I'm really curious.
This is the first time for me doing anything like
Ah,
what she's doing.
that's
Yeah.
great. That's great. That's great, great, great. I love it. We don't know what we don't know. And I love meeting people with skills and knowledge and experience that is new to me.
Okay, so there's this seeking heart energy. So we're just going to energetically release that. I'm not going to ask you if you feel like you have an addiction. I don't need you to tell us anything about that. But we can just release that energy that you're trying to fulfill that by this, whatever it is that you're being pulled to for to feel love, joy, and other positive emotions. Just going to release that. How are you doing so far?
I'm doing okay.
Okay, there's something else. So there's an imbalance in your hypothalamus. That can look like issues with your body temperature, hunger, thirst, fatigue, sleep. Your circadian rhythm can be off a little bit.
Okay.
Okay.
Mhm.
Yeah. So we don't need to know anything else about that. We're just going to release that imbalance in the hypothalamus energetically, bring some balance there. How are we doing on time, Angel?
Oops. There, we're doing great. You've got time. You've got 10 minutes.
Okay. So have you had a problem with this knee before?
No,
This is totally random out of the
totally
blue.
random new.
Okay.
Yeah.
So been a recovery interference.
Had a problem with my other knee and my hip from that leg, but not my knee.
Okay, so I'm at 45. How old are you, Tina?
48.
Okay, so at 45, something happened and there was an interference with recovery. Does something come to mind?
Mm. Not right off. No.
We need to know more about this. Okay.
Okay.
Were you sick?
Is it something that happened to me, or could it have been to someone else? No.
This is you. Did you get sick? Did you fall? Did you?
Mm-mm.
Let's see. There's just an imbalance. When did you have this issue with did you say your hips?
Yeah.
Was that when you were 45-ish?
I was 15.
Okay,
So that was a long time ago.
Okay. Sometimes we just have to get really, really detailed. And for some reason, we have to know more about what happened at 45. Tell me what was going on if you're able, or
Yeah, that was the first
to
year of
share.
COVID, right? That was 2020. So
Okay, yes. So
COVID.
it's something around all of that. Did you get COVID?
I did get COVID, but not until almost a year into COVID. Yes, I did get COVID.
Okay, this is something around that. So when the age is identified, it can be a year before or a year after. Our subconscious can only remember about the
Okay.
time in our lives when the event occurred. So this has something to do with that.
Is it always a physical thing, or can it be an emotional thing?
Yep, it can definitely be an emotional thing.
Okay, there was something, definitely a highly emotional thing that did happen as well.
Okay, that's not what this is. This is
Okay.
around COVID.
Okay. I did get COVID.
Okay. All right. Do we need to know anything else? Okay. That's all we need to know. So we're just going to energetically release that interference that was a problem with this COVID with you.
Okay.
So we don't need to know anything else.
Okay.
Okay. So if you're able, will you stand up and just move around and let me know if you feel any shifting or any differences in that knee?
I don't feel any pain on the bottom of my knee, but it's still in the side back of my knee. But it does feel better. But it's still there. It feels tight.
Okay. So your body's going to need 4 days to rebalance and heal.
Okay.
So I would love to get your contact info also, so that I can reach out and check in with you. And then if we can still do something, we will definitely.
Okay.
I'd like to help you with that if I can.
Thank you. Yes. And you said grapefruit and spruce once a day to the bottom of my feet. Yes.
For 4 days.
Okay. Okay.
Okay. All right. All right. Does anybody have any other questions?
Come on, people. Did you fall asleep or what? This is where you ask questions. You can unmute yourselves and ask Anne some questions. Who's intrigued about this and what she's doing? I have lots of questions I could ask you, but I'd love anyone who wants to take a moment, find out more about what she's doing here.
Nope, go.
I was just going to say thank you. And I was very intrigued. This is the first time I've had that type of thing done. So thank you.
My pleasure. You know, it's been the response and the feedback I get from so many of my clients, I am constantly just amazed at, like, really, it was that easy? Often I say, that was so easy. So it's been a really fun modality to learn how to use and to share with people. Our soul knows. It knows exactly how to take us, where to take us, what we need to do. And Dr. Bradley Nelson has created a beautiful system of maps to help us get there, to figure it out. So I'm just honored to be able to be trained with him and to continue to use this in my work, which doesn't feel like work. Like, I love what I do. It's so fulfilling and fun. I love it.
So Kenya has a question. She said she noticed in the chat a few people put neck pain. So, is there like standard issues? Do you run into standard things if pain is actually in a certain part of the body, or does it? I mean, like I'm watching you do it, bringing up actually unique experiences that happened in people's lives. But is there something that's standard or?
Anything can be the cause of anything.
Mm.
And most often I'm taken to the meridians because the meridians are so interconnected. Almost every session, there's a meridian that needs to be unblocked. Another thing that I didn't even mention is the heart wall. When I first start with a new client, I do a discovery session. And in that discovery, I'm asking questions about how well the body's functioning. And if you have a heart wall, is your immune system functioning at 100%? How's your digestive system? Are you methylating? Is your vagal nerve active? I ask all these questions. And most often, the first thing I ask when I do that discovery is, where do we begin? Where do we start peeling back all these layers? And most often, it's the heart. As we come across events in our life that might be heartbreaking or create heartache, we throw up an energy to protect our hearts. And over time, we build all this weight around our heart. And so if you can imagine, that's creating a block. Our heart is the center of it all. And if we've got all this energy and this weight we're carrying around, and you can imagine the stress on the neck pain, the tendons, the ligaments, the nerves, all of that holding this weight, causing us to kind of hunch over. Which, when we release that energy, all of a sudden we're able to throw our shoulders back, the tension's released. That's been the most fun feedback, releasing heart walls for people. And then the energy, the life chi force is able to move through the body and create some balance and healing.
Is there anything that you can do to help with our meridians as a regular practice to keep meridians clear?
All the basics. Breath work is amazing. Yoga, movement, grounding, water, drink water. People are not drinking enough water. Clean water. It needs to be clean, filtered, good water. Yeah, just the basics. Good sleep. Sleep. Our bodies are unable to heal fully if we don't get a good night's sleep. And so often that's something that shows up in these sessions, especially for these people. Most of my clients that I'm attracting are in their 40s, 50s, and 60s. And it's crazy how many of them are not sleeping.
Mm. Somebody commented saying about herself, I thought today's neck pain was sleeping wrong, laugh out loud. So tell us about that. So many of us instantly attribute physical pain to something that happened. Like, oh, I tripped down the stairs. That's why I sprained my ankle or this. Give me some background on what you've learned about, even though something physical happens, how is it connected to some of the emotional blocks that you're bringing to our awareness?
Our bodies are really miraculous. And if they are flowing well and operating as they should, it will heal. But if you've got some blocks in your meridians and your chi force energy, and you've got all this funky energy in your body that's just struggling to be processed or released, then we don't heal. And okay, here's an example, a personal example of mine. I've had some trouble with ear something, and I know all the tricks. I feel like energetically I could fix this, and I've not been able to do it yet, but there continues to be this something there. And so I'm still trying to figure it out. I'm digging deeper, and every day I'm like trying, there's a message there. Sometimes our body is just sending a message, and until you deal with the emotional trauma that is the result of that, it will not get better. If you're dealing with chronic pain, it's typically because it's your body's way of saying, you need to look at this. You've got some trauma you dealt with in the past that needs some attention. There's a book that I'll recommend that everybody get, or if you want to reach out to me about certain things, it's called Messages from the Body. It gets really, really detailed on thoughts in our head that are related to different pains in our body. I'm sure you've all heard of the book, Feelings Buried Alive, Never Die. There's several different books out there like that. Wendy Jensen's Healing Questions book is great too, for getting to the core of things. But the work with emotion code and body code sometimes is just to make you aware. And once you're aware of the issue that might be at the root cause of this pain in your body, or this struggle, if it's emotional or mental, just being aware of what that is the first part of healing. So most often, just the awareness and the intention to release it is where to begin, and really takes people quite a ways in their healing process. Once our body knows, it's miraculous, and it knows what to do to heal.
Beautiful. Any final questions before we get ready for breakout rooms? Okay, let's see. A couple of things. I hope you saw in the chat that Anne has offered this group a free discovery session with her. So you can do a one-on-one. We'll repost that. We'll send this out in an email with the recording of this. Is that okay with you, Anne, that we send it out that way too? Okay, yeah. I want to make sure. And you just will go onto her calendar, which I'm posting this link to, so you guys can copy and paste this. Here it comes. One more time. It's so amazing to experience this. Please take advantage of these things we're offering you. I'm so glad you're all here tonight, and I'm so glad that Anne is serving us. We find in our community that those who have developed gifts like Anne just have a desire. She says it's not work, it's service, it's love, it's connection. And I don't know, Anne, if you would agree, but I feel when I work with a client, it's a sacred privilege to be brought into someone's life and be a channel. She used that word earlier. She's like, I'm just a guide, or I'm channeling, or a conduit. One of those words you used that resonated. She's just being a physical form to help bring you an awareness of what's going on throughout your mind, body, heart, and spirit, and how it's showing up in the physical body, but it's residing on a spiritual level, on a mental level, on an emotional level. And it's such a privilege. So with her extending this to you all, I want to invite you to receive. So often we're praying for answers in our lives to things, right? To abundance, to healing pain, to relationship. We're praying. And I discovered in myself that I would pray, and then something would come into my life as an offer that was something that was different, weird, awkward, uncomfortable, something that was in the realm of what I didn't even know I didn't know. And I'd shut it out and be like, that's just weird. That doesn't make sense. I wouldn't make the connection that it directly related to what I was praying for. So I had these blinders on, and I would go back and keep praying. Send me help. And God's like, Angel, I put Anne in your path, like talk to her about this, or different things like that. So I just wanted to bring that to your awareness too. Pause and ask, how many of you have been struggling with some physical pain or chronic pain, or something that keeps recurring, flaring up? Just pause and check in right now and be like, source, are you trying to talk to me? And so take advantage of this opportunity to work with her. And I also want to see if Wendy, are you online? I can only see a few faces. I see you. Wendy is going to, before we go to breakout rooms, tell us about next week's healer speaker coming on named Laurel. So go ahead, Wendy.
Absolutely. Laurel Houston is going to be teaching us next week, and you're in for such a treat, just like all the rest of our facilitators that have been on Monday Soul Evenings. And you've done an amazing job today. So fascinating to see what our body has to say, and how quickly it can heal when we will listen and tune in and energetically clear those blocks. Now, Laurel she is the event. She has created a system called body mapping. And next week, she's actually going to specifically talk about intimacy mapping. And right now, where we're surrounded by a lot of families. So this could be intimacy with your partner. This could be intimacy with yourself. This could be intimacy with other relationships in your life. But your body has a way of speaking to you and helping you to identify and clear those blocks within our relationships too. And what you're going to find, Laurel was actually, for those of you that read my book, she was literally the only person that I quoted 3 times in my book. That is how many times she has brought to my attention information that has profoundly and deeply impacted my life. One of the quotes that many of you have heard me say is, and this is a Laurel quote, if your head is a clock and your heart is a compass, why do we go to the clock for answers? And I love that. And that's a Laurelism. So you can, I really hope that you'll come and share next week with us. Once again, we're going to offer some incredible things of value for you. And so we just want to share all the goodness with you and help improve and help you to come closer to your wholeness. Because that's really all we're doing, is let's return you back to that wholeness, that essence that never changed, and help you to live this life of more joy, more bliss, more intimacy. Intimacy is into me, I see. So here we are, all coming back home to ourselves. So I hope that you'll definitely make that a priority next week too.
Thank you so much. Okay, we're going to open up 3 breakout rooms. You can choose to join with Wendy, David, or I. Just a random selection here. Whatever your heart feels called to. If you're new to using this system and you're on a computer, you want to move your mouse so that the bottom menu shows up and you'll see what looks like a little window, 4 squares, and click it and it's breakout rooms. If you're on a handheld device, tap your screen and usually it's in the upper left hand spot. And I will stop the recording.